our Illini, after an embarrassing showing at Indiana, showed up, played their heart out back home in front of the home fans in Champaign on big noon kickoff too. Weren't afraid of the spotlight this time. Weren't afraid of a ranked opponent. And they did just sneak past the USC Trojans in a fantastic matchup. This could be game of the year for the Illini. Just with how dramatic it was, how back and forth it was, and what a statement it was by the Illini. Usually, I wasn't thinking a 2-point win over USC would be a statement win, right, when the season had not yet started. But now knowing what we know, this victory was absolutely huge. This brought this team, this fan base, me back from the dead. Got absolutely destroyed at Indiana, the worst scenario possible. I wasn't sure if this team was going to be able to win another game, let alone another ranked opponent the following week in a primetime national slot again. And they got it done. And the offense, I cannot say enough great things about the position group that I complained about the most when I went on my 20-plus minute rant on last week's episode about that Indiana game. Had a lot of emotions as someone who was present, so go check that out if you missed last week's episode or the separate video up on the channel about my reactions to that, just, what it was like to be an Illinois fan there and kind of how I felt about the team's performance. Really wish I could have been at this one because, my goodness, that was exciting. I had my expectations to the floor. As I made very clear at the end of last Wednesday's episode, I did not see a way that the Illini were going to bounce back against USC, but the offensive line, man, I gave them so much crap last week, deservedly so, in my opinion, and they deserve a lot of praise, deservedly so, again. Fantastic. Allowed 7 sacks last week, allowed 1 on Saturday. It wasn't until the second half, it was the third quarter. They didn't even allow a sack in that entire first half. You can check out my halftime reaction if you want to know how I was feeling in real time, because I did get out a halftime reaction on Saturday. But yeah, man, I mean, that USC defense is not nearly as strong as Indiana's. We knew that coming in. But still, I didn't think it would be this kind of turnaround performance for the offense. And the defense, I mean, he gave up 63 to Indiana. I mean, I know they got some people back, especially in the secondary, but I mean, this is a top-tier offense, and they played like it too. All due respect to USC's offense, Jordan Mailata, Makai Lemon, I'll get to that more because, wow, he had a game. But, I mean, USC they kind of strike me as the Cowboys of college football right now, right? Like after that, the Cowboys had that tie against the Packers on Sunday night. Everyone was like, wow, their offense is ranked first, their defense 32nd. And it's kind of how USC felt too. Their offense is star-studded, absolutely loaded. And meanwhile, Illinois, who could not get anything going, really, I mean, they could not string together any productive drives against Indiana. Their one touchdown came on a huge 50-plus yard pass play, and they got that one field goal at the end of the half. That's really the only drive that the offense was able to put together as a sound, solid drive and just simply moving the ball down the field. And they did it every time they touched the ball this game. Because, again, Illinois could have scored more, right? Because we had that fumble right at the end of the half that I was not happy about. I did not think that was a fumble. It looked like Fagan had it pretty wrapped up, but what do I know? And so that cost them 7, and then they did actually fumble at the goal line later on. I think that was Valentine who fumbled that time, I believe. So yeah, it just not what you like to see. Sorry, I spit on my screen. That's gross. I'm sorry, guys. It just not not sloppy at the goal line, honestly, and still put up 34 points. I was really impressed. Really, really impressed with the offense. It's amazing what Luke Altmaier can do when you give him time, right? And to see the crowd storming the field, all that. And just great to see that Illini football is back after the disastrous week. It's silly to say that, honestly, it is. But I mean, what an up and down roller coaster the last 2 weeks have been for Illini Nation. Obviously, the Indiana loss still hurts, right? That doesn't negate this, but we'll talk about that later because I want to focus on this game specifically. Because what a game. What an offense we had. What a performance from Luke Altmaier. They gave him time this time. He never really had the chance to do anything. Didn't really get time against Indiana to actually cook. And boy, did he today. Saturday. He really showed out in the passing game. 20 of 26, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. Plus, he added a rushing touchdown and that sneaky receiving touchdown. The goal line play calling was fantastic. There are 2 touchdowns in the first half because they were up 14-10 at the half, where Altmaier rush, design run, and then the Philly special, basically, that they ran, where it was Hank Beatty who threw a touchdown pass for 3 yards. That touchdown pass by Hank Beatty to Luke Altmaier makes Beatty the only player in the country now to have scored a touchdown 4 different ways. Those ways being a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a punt return touchdown. He has done all 4 of those in 5 games. Remarkable season so far from Hank Beatty. His versatility really knows no end. That was really the only thing we hadn't seen him do. I guess maybe he'll kick a field goal next game. I don't know. And biggest play of the game, in my opinion, other than the game-winning field goal. Of course, that's going to be the biggest play of the game for Illinois. But their biggest touchdown was that TD pass to Caden Fagan, his 64-yard touchdown. It was basically a glorified check down, but Fagan took off. He just barely stayed in bounds. They had to take a look at that one. But a 64-yard touchdown that really made a statement, put Illinois up 2 scores. Of course, it did get away from them a little bit towards the end there, which we'll talk about when we get to the defensive end of things. Receiving wise, though, Beatty was great. He had 6 catches, 81 yards. He had the most catches to complement his passing touchdown. However, it was Colin Dixon for the 2nd straight game, who was the Illini leader in receiving yards, 4 catches for 90 yards, including a 61-yard grab. Then Caden Fagan was actually next, 3 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown, of course. And then Justin Bowick, 1 catch, 25 yards, and went for a touchdown. He is an absolute touchdown merchant. And then, of course, I want to shout out Luke Altmaier with the reception, 3 yards for a touchdown. That was awesome. It literally was a Philly special is what they ran, and they ran it perfectly. They were cooking at the goal line because, like I said on my halftime reaction video, they didn't really get a chance to do anything at the goal line. They really didn't against Indiana. I mean, they were never at the goal line once in that Indiana game. Not even really. They did not get the chance. And they made the most of these opportunities that they got in this game, even though they should only be 1, but technically 2 fumbles at the goal line, even still. I thought the play calling at the goal line was fantastic. I also want to shout out the tight ends. I always like to point out when Illinois actually uses tight ends. 2 tight ends caught a pass in a game for the first time this year for Illinois. Cole Rusk got a 17-yard grab, and Tanner Arkin had a 12-yard catch. They each only had 1, but hey, it's a start. Hudson Clement was featured as well. He had 2 catches. He was one of only 4 players actually bringing 2 catches. Because, our touchdown merchant king, Justin Bowick, 1 catch went for the 25-yard touchdown. He's been a great red zone threat. That's not even red zone, though, 25 yards. He's just a touchdown merchant everywhere on the field. I love it. You got to have a touchdown merchant. The rushing game didn't get going as strongly. Obviously, both Fagan and Valentine each had a goal line fumble. Fagan only 60 yards on 14 carries. Valentine had 8 carries for 59. Next was actually Altmaier. He had 28 yards on 5 carries with the one rushing touchdown, of course. That was their only touchdown on the ground. And Lawfrey did get eased back in. He had 7 carries for 25 yards. That is 171 yards total on the ground, though. They did outrush USC by that'd be 45 yards. So USC had 126 to Illinois' 171. Yeah, the rushing game really didn't have to get going, right? It was a pass-heavy game. Big passes too, right? 61 yards to Colin Dixon, 64 to Fagan. Beatty had a 32-yard catch. Bowick, 25. They were hitting big plays all game and just marching right down the field. Defensively, I mean, you did give up 32 points, especially at the end there. They really couldn't stop USC. USC put up 15 points in that fourth quarter, and the offense was able to bail them out. But honestly, for a team that gave up 63 to Indiana, like I was saying earlier, I don't think 32 is all that bad for this UFC offense. Obviously, you held them to a low enough score where you could win the game with their not as sharp defense, right? Plus, I mean, some of the things that they were doing, how are you even supposed to, like Makai Lemon, my dude, I was not familiar with your game. I mean, I was, but wow, I think he ascended to a new level. He had 11 catches. They only had 30 as a team, so that's over a third of their target share. Makai Lemon, 11 catches, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, and both of those touchdowns were in the fourth quarter as well. Crazy. And he caught that 2-point conversion because they went for 2 after they scored that first touchdown. That's the thing that teams like do now. They're down by 14. They'll go for 2 on the first one because the odds are if you go for 2 twice, you're going to get it at least once. So if you get it that first time, then you're an extra point away from taking the lead if you score again, because you have to score again anyway, versus, waiting to do it on the second try and trying to win the whole game. Because if you don't get it on the first one, then you can go for it again to at least tie. That's the logic there. I don't know how much I like that, but that's what USC did, and it did work. They did get the 2, so they were up by a point then by the time Illinois got the ball instead of being just tied, which added to the drama. But yeah, Makai Lemon went off, especially in the fourth quarter, but especially, I mean, I wish Tanner Heckel wasn't on him after he got burned pretty bad. The first touchdown in the fourth quarter that he gave up to Lemon. The second one, though, what are you even supposed to do about that as a defender? I can't even fault them too much. This is an incredibly talented offense. And holding them to 32 is honestly probably pretty good. I won't lie. I thought that overall it was about as good as it was going to get. I mean, obviously, you wish you had Xavier Scott to try and counter Makai Lemon. Certainly would have made some difference. I don't know how much of a difference, but again, like what was Heckel supposed to do on that second one? I mean, it was an incredible grab. The coverage honestly couldn't have been better. They did get some trouble, just overall in the passing game. Jordan Mayava was 30 of 43. They were really airing it out. 364 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He did have an interception as well. That was a costly one. And they did get their run game going, mainly with just one guy, however, though. Illinois is a lot more balanced. Waymon Jordan had 20 of their 34 rushes for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was cooking. Waymon Jordan was cooking. Had their first 2 touchdowns before they got the ball to Lemon there. But They couldn't really get anyone else going. Eli Sanders had 8 carries for 14 yards. So it was really only Jordan that gave him trouble. And again, overall, Illinois did outrush them, actually, even though they did have a slight edge in the passing game. So it was a very, very evenly matched game. As soon as they scored that second touchdown, I wasn't super worried. If I'm being fully honest, I was not worried because Illinois is just having such ease moving the ball downfield. And David Alano's automatic. Like as soon as he caught that touchdown, I went, "Oh, they left way too much time on the clock." Because yeah, they really could have run down that clock more than they did. Because again, all they needed was an extra point to take the lead at that point. I mean, they knew they were going to take the lead if they scored. They really went for it though, with a bit more time left than you would have liked as a USC fan, and that really gave Illinois the edge. I mean, they had plenty of time to just scroll down the field. Because again, USC couldn't. Neither team could stop the other team. It was a matter of, especially in that fourth quarter. Oh my Lord! It was a matter of who's going to get the ball last, and USC made sure that it was Illinois. Well, it probably was going to be Illinois either way, but they made sure that it was Illinois with too much time left. And that was a blessing. And great to see our team function in the clutch. So they haven't really done that. Blew out our first 3 opponents, got blown out by our fourth. It was great to see how they react in a close clutch game. And they did it against one of the biggest brands in college football in the entire country. I mean, you guys saw all the comments I got on that USC video. I wonder where those guys are now after USC's going to crush Illinois. You don't know anything. Well, we got embarrassed a week ago, and we were still able to beat you guys. I don't know. Our shining Illini for this game to wrap up this reflection. The third star goes to Caden Fagan, who was very good just overall. 14 rushes, 60 yards. That doesn't really jump out at you, but what does is there's 3 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown. 64 of those yards coming on that touchdown play. That was just a massive play, put them up 2 scores. I know they later lost that lead, but just for the matter of momentum, that was a massive play, and they never would have been in position to win the game had he not done that. Our second star goes to the kicker, David Alano. 2 of 2 field goals, 4 of 4 on extra points. A perfect day for him, including a 45-yard game-winning field goal. He is automatic, dude. That's what I was saying. I wasn't worried. With the way we were marched down the field, the way Alano kicked, not worried at all. The first star, for the first time this season being awarded the first star, is one of the best Illinois quarterback performances I have seen in my lifetime from Luke Altmaier. 20 of 26, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns. He added a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown as well. Absolutely ridiculous week out of Luke Altmaier. I do want to give an honorable mention to the offensive line that I was very harsh on in last week's episode. And again, I think they needed a wake-up call. I wish it wasn't as brutal as it was, but I think without, losing that bad, this offensive line doesn't play as well as they do. And if anything went wrong if anything else, I guess I should say, besides those fumbles went wrong in this game, Illinois does not win it. And it's just great to bounce back against a ranked opponent in the national spotlight.